I love lazy farms. I'm always looking for lazy gold farms to min-max my gold making. So today we'll be looking at the 10 best lazy gold methods. Let us begin. Starting off at number 1, we have one farm I talk about a lot because it has always been reliable and made me a lot of gold over time. This is the sealed tome of the Lost Legion farm. Here you'll be wanting to bring your warlock to the Isle of Thunder. Then you'll be targeting the rare spawns around the isle. This is because they all have a 2% chance of dropping the sealed tome of the Lost Legion, and because this item only drops for warlocks, this then makes it have a higher value and as such is a great way to make gold. Coming in next on our list at number 2, we have the Spirit of Harmony flip. To do this flip, you will need to first make your way over towards the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. Here you will be wanting to head over towards the Spirit of Harmony vendor, which then you are able to look at the price for the items received per one Spirit of Harmony. Most of the time it is the white and black Trillium ore along with Starlight ink, but this may vary depending on your server. If you do not want to check the prices and compare on your server for these, we already have this to do the calculations for you within the Worth It add-on for ease of use. This is by far a great way to make gold, and one method I very much do enjoy doing over time. This stacks quite nicely, and for less than a few minutes at work each time, well worth the effort. Following on to this at number 3, we have the prospecting old world materials. Prospecting is a great way to make gold due to a lot of high value gems being able to be received from this. Most notably is prospecting ghost iron ore, as this can provide a lot of high value gems used in the creation for the dual crafting panthers, which thus increases the value for these gems. Thorium is a very underrated prospect, as old world gems are used quite frequently and can be used to generate large amounts of gold, though it is wise to understand what gems you are searching for, as this will ultimately dictate your returns over time. Next up at number 4 is the Enchanted Elementium bar craft. This requires the use of the mining profession, and the recipe can be obtained through slaying the master elemental shaper Crix within the Black Wing layer. Enchanted Elementium can be sold on the auction house for some serious amounts of gold, and it is wise to add it to your daily crafting for TSM. This is because in regards to most other smelting craft, this has one of the best returns, and the rate of sale is fairly stable for being an old world craft. Next up at number 5, we'll be making our way over to Warlords of Draenor. Here we'll be making use of the Garrison. This is one way to make additional gold due to multiple factors, some of which are the Tailoring Emporium and the Scribe's Quarters, as these can be used to craft hexweave bags and cards of omen. These can be sold on the auction house for a reasonable amount of gold and requires a few minutes each day to maintain production. Other methods, of course, is the mine and the herb garden for the WOD materials, but I would only do this if you really want to maximize the amount of gold you generate. I do, however, do the mission tables with extreme scavengers for additional resources, as I can use these resources with the trading post to buy WOD materials each day, which generates quite a nice amount of gold in relation to the time I put into sending followers on missions. Next up at number 6, we have the Frozen Orb flip. Here we'll be wanting to head to Northrend Dalaran. This is where we'll want to speak to the vendor next to the Dalaran auction house. This NPC will sell frozen orbs, for which you are able to head towards the Frozen Orb vendor to trade these for any of the Wrath Eternals. This is where you'll want to benchmark which Eternals are best. Typically I will buy Eternals Fire, Life and Air. This can be a great way of making gold on the side, and only takes a few minutes in order to do each time, though it is wise to not flood the auction house when you do this, as this can tank the market for yourself. Coming in at number 7, we have the inscription ability of milling. This is where we'll be wanting to benchmark herbs to inks and mill profitable herbs into their respective inks. This can also be done through the use of the Worth It add-on under flipping, but on average the best milling is of course Dreamleaf for sallow and roseate pigment, as as my go-tos, but also vanilla based herbs, as the inks on average vastly outvalue the herbs that come from them. Following onto this at number 8, we have current prospecting. Yeah, I know. We have already covered this. But current is a little different and needs a bit more of an explanation. This is where we'll be mass prospecting current materials for the gems, but also the essences which come alongside this action. This is where we can produce cheap materials which we can sell flat on the auction house, or we can take this a step further to use in the creation to higher yielding dual crafting crafts. As some of these crafts scale with marks, this means that we can make a higher return along with the cheaper materials to create more profit for ourselves, and as such make more gold. Another method of making gold at number 9 is the use of disenchanting. This one requires you to have a crafter for tailoring, leatherworking or blacksmithing. My personal choice is tailoring due to the cheapness of materials for crafting the braces, in which we will be crafting and then disenchanting. This is a nice way to craft to disenchant, which then we will sell the dust and essences on the auction house for a profit. This works best with current content crafts, but also I find the Wrath craft work well also. Current shuffling is great, as this is another way to produce large quantities of materials for a cheaper price, and with this we can produce the current enchants for cheaper, making us more competitive in regards to enchanting as a whole. Lastly, and to finish off this list at number 10, is the use of the mission table. Currently within Shadowlands, the mission table can be used to generate gold, materials and gear, which in turn should be disenchanted. Though this process only takes a few minutes per day, this can vastly add up over time, and alongside an alt army can produce some amazing returns for very little work indeed. Other than that, guys, that is my pick for the 10 best lazy gold methods. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.